Are we back? Looks like we are. Be nice if I had a windowed projector. Hey! Hey! Welcome to episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Wearing my Chad the Economist t-shirt. This is the last beer from my last Tavor shipment. Pretty special beer. Firestone Walker Krieky Bones Wild Ale fermented with sour cherries. Not too strong, 6.2 ABV. 375 ml bottle here. This was caged and corked. Was $9.99 for this one bottle. That's pretty typical for sour beers like this. You know, this is like an old school. Let me see. This beer begins its life as a Flanders Red inspired beer, aged over a year in French oak foeders. Sour Montmorency cherries are added and allowed as secondary fermentation. The aroma is of cherry pie, complete with flavors of pie crust, spice, and underlying funk. Vienna malt notes give way to an assertive acidity and bright carbonation. Santé, I think that's how they say it in Belgium. You know, I was really surprised when I poured this beer, and the foam didn't fizzle away in like 2 seconds. It actually hung out. There's still a little bit left. I'm surprised. Usually with sour wild beers, they usually, go with the wind. Let's give it a whiff. Yeah, this does remind me of. I mean, it's really hard to describe, but there's a difference between kettle sours and all natural like wild sours like these, where like the kettle sours is like they brew the beer and then they throw a bunch of bacteria in there to sour it up, and then they boil it later on. And it's like a huge time saver. But I mean, like when you do it the all natural way, like this one, just like that. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I mean, first of all, yeah, there's a lot of cherry here, a lot of sourness, just like clean lactic acidity. There is like a woody kind of, farmhouse kind of thing. I mean, if there's Brett in here, whenever there's Brett, you're always gonna get farmhouse, horse blanket, whatever you want to call it, countryside. I like to call it a countryside aroma. Yeah, I mean it smells delicious. I mean, just that sour cherry. I mean, it smells, and it smells like it's gonna be sweet, but like I'm not smelling like something like sugary or something. Again, this is a difference between kettle sours and all natural sours. Is a lot of those kettle sour beers that like they throw lactose sugar in there, or like they're even back sweetened. And a lot of them, they call them like milkshake sours or whatever. I like the old school, beers like this. I'm just glad that I don't have to. I'll pay money. I don't want to have to make these beers. To make these beers is like a huge, huge deal. Yeah, and it's, I don't know. I'm rambling. I haven't even taken a sip yet. Let's get in here. Cheers. Wow, that's one of those sour beers where it actually kind of hurts your face because I'm like, I'm puckering so hard on it. Yeah, this is, that is a sour beer. This is on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as sourness. I'd probably put this at least an 8, if not a 9. I definitely have had more sour, but I mean this is pretty strong in the sour. Yeah, so it's a lovely, lovely, real cherry flavor. Again, all natural. To me, it just tastes like real cherry and not cherry puree or some kind of extract syrup that they're throwing in there. You know, I mean, they mentioned that it's going to taste like cherry pie or something on here. I'm not. I don't. I wouldn't completely agree with that. To me, I mean, it tastes more like a cherry beer because, like, if it's a cherry pie, then to me, I think it would taste like really sugary or syrupy. Some kind of faux, synthetic cherry flavor. But when you use all natural fruit, to me, it doesn't taste like like a dessert or some kind of confectionery. Every single time I take a drink on this, I'm like still legit surprised. Like, oh my god, this beer is so sour. Yeah, this is not a beginner sour. I'm curious. I don't know what the age on this bottle is because I just looked on the bottom. Let me see if you guys can see. Yeah, you see that ring, like that red ring cake on the bottom. That to me, that tells me that this is a fairly old bottle. Like the yeast just you know, coagulated down there and made this crust on the bottom. So I mean, actually, the good thing about when that happens is that you can pour the rest of the bottle in without having to worry about getting a whole lot of yeast sediment into the beer. Mm. I will say it does have like a little bit of a candy flavor to it, like a Sour Patch Kids kind of thing, some kind of sour candy. Um, but again, like when it comes to cherry, like for me, it has to be like completely authentic because any kind of like cherry flavoring, it, it, 9 times out of 10, it just kind of winds up tasting like Nyquil or Robitussin or some kind of cough syrup or something like that. To me, this tastes like the real thing. I don't even know what you would pair this with. I mean, I think this is like a dessert by itself. Like this is something I would consider fairly decadent. Like it's just as far as just like the flavorness and everything to it, despite the fact that it's not some kind of bomb. I mean, it's only 6.2. That is not a super strong beer. Like you could drink this and you know you're not gonna pass out afterwards or something. Hey, there's a comment. Superchargers. Hey, cheers, buddy, from San Diego. San Diego, probably the craft beer capital of America. I want to go out there sometime, but it's going to be a while because of COVID, and I don't trust the California government at all. I went to Northern California a few years ago when I was interviewing at North Coast Brewery. There's the people that make Old Rasputin. That's way north. And I did get to make a day trip down to Anderson Valley, and that was pretty cool. I wanted to go to Russian River, but I just didn't have the time. Yeah, that's delicious. And I can actually think of some other beers that I've done. Some other beers I've gotten from Tavor. Um, like for example, okay, I really don't want to use this as an example, but like and I didn't do a video of this, so sorry. Like Urban Artifact, they did a sour cherry in a can, and that's a kettle sour, I'm sure. And to me, it was fairly mild and kind of one dimensional, and it wasn't super sour. And that was like 8% cent eight. I think it was like 8.1 ABV, and it felt like it was like 4. I mean, this is 6.2, and it feels and tastes like it's 6.2. It's like fairly strong, but it's not knock you on your ass. 10%, 12%, something like that. Yeah, this is this is definitely. In fact, all these Firestone Walker beers that I got from Tabor, in my last shipment, they've all been pretty good. Some, I mean, in fact, I'd say the Mole Stout, the Eldorado, and this one have been great. The Velvet Merkin was good. It wasn't amazing, but I don't know if I'm gonna do a top 10 best and worst of 2020. I guess I should since I've done so many video reviews this year. But yeah, I mean, I would say like all those Firestone Walker beers so far, like they're in contention for the top 10. I don't know what my number one would be, but yeah, I think this would definitely be a top 10 beer. As far as rating on Untapped, I think I would go like at least 4.5, maybe 4.75. I don't think it's quite a perfect 5.0, but yeah, I mean it's really tasty. Only 2,200 cases were made. Batch number 5, right on the label there. I kind of miss Firestone, or I mean, I kind of miss like, you know, being able to get Firestone Walker regularly back in Albany. You can't actually, aside from like Sierra Nevada, like you really can't get a lot of California beers in New York or in Florida, I should say. Even Stone is kind of hard to come by here. They have like Arrogant Bastard at supermarkets, but like you just get Stone IPA at Walmart, but that's pretty much it. You're not gonna get Enjoy by and none of the the IRS or anything like that. Or anyway, I'm rambling, talking about breweries that aren't even in this review. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to sign up for T4, check out my link below. You're gonna get $10 off your first purchase. And speaking of which, my next crate should be arriving tomorrow. So come back in the morning and you'll see that review. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow, I guess. All right, thanks. Bye.